literally just panicked because I did not know the fucking number. And then I went back to, like, it flashed in my mind when you said at the end of PS and you said 109. And I was like,
Yeah.
oh, thank God. I forgot. So welcome back. Episode 109.
It's not a prerequisite. However, if you aren't subscribed to the podcast for extra episodes, first of all, you're totally missing out because there are almost 60 extra episodes of extra content, like so much more information, right? And like in-depth and more intimate things are said in PS episodes than on the regular episodes. But this is a follow-up to
I'm sorry, that was rude as fuck. I just interrupted the shit out of you. Excuse me. Wait your turn, Mari. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say this is a follow-up to that episode because it's kind of like a segue into why we're talking about what we're talking about today.
My impulsivity got the best of me, and I wanted to be like, yes, what I love about PS episodes is I love that there is a mix of like our summer updates is like, because some people want to get to know us. And I think sometimes when I tell clients I have a podcast and I say, like, if you want to get to know who I am or like understand me a bit better, which I easily talk on here.
Yes.
Where I'm not going to be as forward in sessions as I am here. But if you want to get to know me, or if you want to kind of scope out, because who doesn't want to figure out like who they're seeing, who they're talking to, whatever it is, go to my podcast and watch it. The PS episodes, when we're doing our catch up in the summer, or those ones I feel like are definitely in depth, but it's not just that. It's not just this like in-depth look at our lives or whatever. That's where we did the whole cognitive errors episode series, which is one of my favorite because we broke down each individual cognitive error, per episode. Per week. So, and then we had like an atomic habits one, we had a healthy habits one.
We did like distress tolerance skill. We did like one skill from each category for DBT, so to speak, like emotional regulation, distress tolerance, mindfulness.
So if you're not a subscriber, you can go to the link in our bio for Spotify or the link in our bio for our
there's a link in the show notes of this show.
There's a link in the show notes. Yep. So it is super easy. It's what, $2.99?
It's less than a Starbucks coffee for the month.
It's less than a gallon of gas because the Starbucks
less than a gallon of gas.
Out of control.
You are absolutely correct. It is $2.99 for the month. Yes,
$2.99 for the month, and that month then gives you access to all the pre-recorded episodes. So even if you only were like, okay, I'm going to listen to Mari and stuff every day. All you would have to do is subscribe for 2 months. And you're done.
Correct.
Anyways, episode 109. Let's get into it. What are our dreams? I don't know if that's the title of this.
No, nope, it's called Follow Your Dreams.
Yeah, I was like, there's probably a more clever title versus what I'm saying right now. But it's called Follow Your Dreams. So I'm not really going to recap on the PS because that's giving away content. So go subscribe. So Steph and I thought it would be good to follow that up with what spurred us to be like, where do we see ourselves in the next 5 to 10 years? What are our dreams for our businesses, for the show, for like what the show? What? But this is a show to me. So
or a late night show. Yeah.
Or a late night show. Yeah. Getting picked up on CBS. I don't know.
We're in syndication. So
I would love to be on MTV. Thank you. VH1. Thanks.
We're at VH1 at this point.
Yeah. Bitch, don't do that to me. But we are. We're on Nick at Night. So anyways, so we were talking about our dreams.
What I thought would be interesting. I didn't mean to cut you off, but what I thought would be interesting is to not only talk about like breaking down some of our dreams, right? But I also thought it would be interesting for us to break down how we view what following our dreams looks like. And what I mean by that is like the thought process that you have behind dreams of yours, because Mari and I have a marked difference in how we process and move forward with dreams. Does that make sense?
Yes, totally.
So we've talked about this in the past, right? When I decided to lease an office, I openly talked about how for a long time I said I didn't want to. And while part of it was like financial fear, and fear around finances and things like that, part of it was like, I didn't believe that I could do it. And that's just the honest, like, interpretation of that situation. And so I thought it'd be interesting to talk about, do you actually believe that you're capable of greatness? Do you actually believe that you're capable of achieving these big, huge things that you want to achieve? Or is it more so like, does imposter syndrome come in? Does your anxiety take over? Is it an impulsive thing to be like, yeah, I'm going to do this and I'm going to go for it immediately? Does that all make sense?
It all makes sense. And bitch, I literally forgot today was Journal Times Best of Racine came out.
Oh, really? Oh, so yeah, because Drew posted.
You guys are finding out right now as I'm finding out. Hold on. This isn't going to ruin the show, okay, if I don't get it. Which I think that I didn't get it because nobody contacted me. But my guess is I got hometown favorite.
This is that thing that you guys helped vote for her for last year that she won.
Yes. Okay. So best winners announced. So how winners? Okay, hold on. How do I search winners?
Drew won for best general practitioner and best something else.
Yeah.
For Kenosha.
Okay, why is this happening like that? Okay, that's not. Nope. Okay. Racine Journal Times Best of Racine winners. Come on.
Do 2023 though, because it might bring up other ones.
Why does it look like it's not pulling up? It just says who will win, and it says voting August to whatever, winners announced Sunday, October 8th, which is today is the 8th, right? I'll just do best and let me just see. This is really gonna piss me off.
Well, I'm gonna edit out this waiting period, so
it's really pissing me off right now. Okay, so it won't let you vote. Okay, whatever. We'll just have to wait. Because it won't show me. It won't show me. I can't, anywhere I'm looking, it doesn't pull up. So I'll just have to, it would be readily available. I Googled it. It's not like I was just searching on their website, so whatever. But it does say that they would be announced today. So
I don't know.
Anyways, so do you want to talk about yours first of how you, what, do we want to do 5 years, 10 years? Break it down like that, or do we want to break it down by sections of work life?
Well, I feel like you have a much more clear vision of what you want. I feel like I can be so flip-floppy where there's times that I want to be a fucking best-selling author, still doing therapy, but not full. I just feel like I go all, it's the water in me. I'm just I'm just going to do all the things, which I'm not, because then my anxiety is bitch, sit down. No, you're not.
Do you think the anxiety is from Pisces or Scorpio?
I think the anxiety is just from how I grew up. I'm serious, because anything about Pisces childhood and Scorpio is you're not anxious. You're in your own fucking world.
Yeah.
And if I was in my own world all the time, I wouldn't be anxious about shit because I'd be in my own little world that I made up.
True. Okay.
I wish.
So what?
No, I wish.
Oh, I thought you said which, and I was like, which what?
No, I wish I was.
Well, no, because sometimes those people get really frustrating. Fucking today, I didn't swipe away, right? I'm here.
You're here.
Computer updated, and it just sends weird balloons and hearts and high fives and swiped me away one time. So
it's weird.
Dreams. So do I believe that I'm capable of greatness? Absolutely. Without a doubt, 100%. I believe that in my soul. Yes. I believe that what I'm doing right now is greatness. I believe that having the gift and talent to work with people and heal trauma and help them feel connected, feel appreciated, feel loved, feel validated, all of those things, that to me is greatness. And I think everybody has a gift and everybody's born for whatever gift that it is. And I feel like this truly is my purpose. And I found that. Now, after the whole debacle with our landlords and everything, go see the PS episode. I'm tired of being disrespected. I'm tired of not being taken seriously. I'm tired of concerns falling on deaf ears. So in my mind, I view within the next 5 years, I want to have my own office space, my own building, and I want to then rent out to other people. So originally, Steph and I have always wanted to be in a building together. We have always wanted to potentially have like a space together.
In our own space. We've always been in a building together. Yes. That's how we met, right? Like this is now our third place together, but we want to have like our own private.
Yes.
That's ours.
Yes. So we've always thought like maybe like an old school house or doing something like that. And like, as the years go on and as I have been a homeowner for as long as I've been a homeowner, and as I've, helped my dad with the things that he's had in his houses that he rents out, I start to get a little bit worried about getting an older house and things like that, just because of all of the different frustrations and things that come with it. With that being said, new build things aren't built how things used to be built back in the old days. So I am torn in that area. And then Jeffrey and I were talking about ways to have passive income, because we eventually want to be able to continue to do what we love and not feel like we have to, right? Steph and I always talk about like, how long do you think our brains are going to last? Like, how long do you think we're going to be able to stay in this? Because I think that's a very real fear, as like somebody who is a health practitioner, whether it's mental health, physical health, whatever that it is. I think that your tool is your body. And you're using your body. I mean, so many things can happen with somebody's brain, that like dementia or Alzheimer's or just like whatever, like, so I worry about that, but I don't want to do anything else. So in my mind, I'm like, well, if I can have passive income, then I can slowly titrate down and have just like 2 really meaningful days, and then be able to rest, reset, and then come back to have those 2 really meaningful days again. So that's kind of like where my thought process was. So after this whole fucking debacle with the landlords and stuff, I started looking at buildings, because I was like, let's just fucking see. Let's just see what's out there. Let's try renting somewhere else. Like first it started with renting somewhere else, and then getting hit with, $800 to $1,500. 1,500 is like not even, it's non-existent, but $1,800, $2,000, $2,500, like $2,500 a month is like a $5,000, $500,000 mortgage. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm not trying to buy a building for that much.
Correct.
So clearly I could probably find something to be able to like rent out and do these things and have this space and have this dream community that I would love, which would be to have me and Steph in there, have another therapist in there potentially, or someone who does maybe like therapy and something else, maybe like groups or something, or just another thing to supplement it. Really, I would really love to have somebody who does like brain spotting or like IFS, or somebody who's like specifically treating like severe anxiety or OCD. I would love that too, to complement us, maybe even eating disorders, just to be able to have somebody who's supplementing like our skills. Yeah, because Steph is really good working with the LGBTQA community, working with people in like the sex field, whether it's like kinks or exploring things or like whatever that it is, being a sex therapist over there. We both do DBT. I'm in my realm of trauma. So it would be nice to have somebody on the outside to like work with us. Then to have somebody who does like Reiki or chiropractic care, well, Reiki and chiropractic care, and having acupuncture potentially, like having
a med provider.
Yeah, a med provider would be, I would put a med provider before Reiki on all those. I would love those things, don't get me wrong, but a med provider would be extremely helpful, because that is a big need that our clients face. So having a med provider, all of these things in one central location to be able to all share clients and all bounce off of each other, maybe run specials together, like just something where we can all coexist and connect and build this holistic community while these people have the freedom to be their own businesses, right? I don't want people who work under me. I do not want employees. I want like-minded individuals to come to the table, because I don't want to be responsible for you. I don't want to be responsible for what you do in your practices or what you do with your clients or guests or whatever, however you view it. I just want to be able to have these people to supplement the work that I am already doing. So that would be my huge 5-year. I think 5 years is very feasible to think that that would be a goal. So that's my huge goal.
We also talk about having just a room to record the podcast in, so we're not like separate, and we could be together and things like that. Sometimes I get in my head about,
and it could be aesthetically pleasing.
100%.
I would love that.
I don't get in my head about the podcast because at no point in my life was I like, I want to be a full-time podcaster and content creator for the internet. Never in my life, even for the almost 3 years that we've been doing this podcast, that's never been my intention to do this full-time and not do anything else. I commend the people that do that. It takes a lot of fucking energy and work. And like, here's the thing, they're not doing it alone. They have a team of people to do the things. We do all of this ourselves. So that's why I don't have the energy to just do it full-time. But as much as I love being an independent business owner, I love the idea of having a team, because here's the thing, when you do the things that we do, it is kind of imperative that you have people that you can consult with about cases, because sometimes it's not that you have blinders on, but you've been seeing somebody for so long. You're like, am I missing something? Like, let me get an outside perspective. And we do consult with each other a lot without giving out identifying information, right? At my other job that I'm still at, we have monthly staff meetings where we do the same thing. And it's just to get other opinions or resources that we may not know. So the idea of being able to have other people in the community in the same realm as us to, you know, bounce ideas off of and talk to and things like that, or to refer people to. You guys don't understand, maybe you do, how hard it is to get medication appointments nowadays in a reasonable amount of time.
Yes. Yeah. 100%.
There are wait lists for months on months on months because there are not enough providers. And that's scary. Yes. It's very scary. So then people are resorting to doing online things that to me seem very fucking unethical, to be quite honest, because the stories that my clients have told me of like, yeah, I just emailed with this doctor and they gave me a prescription for XYZ. And I'm like, what?
Literally. Yep. Yes.
I've done that for a UTI where I had to like meet virtually with somebody and they gave me a prescription for a UTI. That's acceptable.
Yeah. It's an antibiotic, right?
When I'm coming to you with mental health symptoms and you're just going to give me an SSRI, are you out of your fucking mind?
Yep. Or a benzo.
Like,
yes.
What is going on? Me that's like the way of, that's so scary and that's so dangerous. So if we could have somebody, and we do have somebody, so when the time comes, we have somebody kind of waiting in the wings for us that is a professional in the field, it just makes a huge difference. What I was going to say when you were talking too is like, there are days, I think this is just my depression and other things that I deal with, where I'm like, fuck yeah, I can achieve anything I want to achieve. And then there are days that are like, no, you can't. Like, who are you to think that you could do something so big, right? I still struggle with that. Yeah. I don't know if that's ever going to go away. I think it depends on the mood I'm in, what's happening in my life. You brought up a really good point. Mari and I were talking via Marco Polo, like we always do. And you brought up the point of like, dude, I've never filed bankruptcy. I don't know what that's like to have that like fear. And I was like, oh my God, I didn't even think about that. Where I have this like internal fear of, you've been really irresponsible with money before. What if it happens again? Right. And I've done a lot of work with my spending, with what I do with my money, with how I view money and things like that. And it's still a work in progress. But I guess I just didn't realize that was probably in the back of my mind of like, okay, but what if you fail and things go really terribly? Right. And you could lose everything kind of thing. Do I think that I would? No. A, because I wouldn't allow it to happen. You wouldn't allow it to happen. No. Like there are many reasons why that wouldn't happen, but I do. It frustrates me that my brain goes to the what ifs of all the bad things when it comes to thinking about something so exciting. And I even apologized to Maria. I was like, hope you don't think that I'm like a fucking dream crusher where you're like, I can't tell Steph anything because she's just fucking negative about it. She just thinks that we can't do it. Like, that's never my intention. I just immediately come to something with fear of like, okay, but what if? Which is interesting because I tell my clients all the time, you could what if yourself to fucking death. What if it's the best decision you've ever made in your life? So it still takes effort for me to think like that. It still takes work for me to be like, okay, well, I didn't think I'd ever get an office. And now I'm coming up on a year of having one and I made it. I did it. You fucking figure it out. Same thing with being a single mom. Didn't anticipate that was going to happen. I'm doing it. Do you know what I'm saying? Where it's like,
totally get it.
You just get consumed with all the scary what ifs instead of the exciting what ifs. And I think that's where I struggle to think about the future and like what it holds as a business owner and a therapist.
I think inadvertently choosing myself the past 7 years after leaving my marriage and building, so choices that I'm making, trusting myself, using that trust to build self-worth then has built self-love, where like now after 7 years of exposures of that, like in my, like there are things that I think about that I worry about, like what if we are to go into a recession, what if we are to have another COVID, what if we are to do these things. I'm a self-pay business. So I have nothing to fall back on in that sense. In my mind, I would just then go get boarded by insurances again, if that's really what it came to, so people could utilize their insurance. However, in my mind, because these 7 years, I have done nothing but listen to my fucking self. And, or if I did not listen to myself when shit didn't go the way that would have been nice or beneficial, stopping, not shaming myself and checking back in and being like, okay, this serves as a reminder as to why we choose ourselves. So then the next time you choose yourself, and not do that as this like putting down moment of like, see, you fucking, whatever. I think that's why I have this attitude of like, instead of thinking, well, what if, or what, it's like, why not me? Like, what could not be? It's like, why the fuck not me? All these people that I'm looking at that are examples of people who are in not positions of power, but like who may be a step above me, right? May have something that I want. Who's successful. They don't have anything different than I have. They don't have anything different. I was talking to a client about this. She was like, oh, I'm so jealous. I'm so envious that this person is doing this and traveling and doing it. And I was like, why can't you? The way that this person is reflecting on their life and the changes that they've made has not, like, you can do that too. Why can't you? I don't understand. It's this fucked up story you're telling yourself that you can't do that. It's not about, here's the thing. I'm logical, right? I'm not saying that me at 5'3" can go be an Olympian on the basketball team.
Sure.
Right? I'm not delusional thinking that my, little Midwestern 5'3" body is going to go, run track and field in the Olympics. Okay. I'm looking at realistic, real world examples of these people who have success or who are doing things, who are making things happen for them. And I'm thinking, why can't that be me? It can be. Why the fuck not me? There's the reel from Elise Myers, who's a content creator on Instagram, and she is formerly known for like the big thing that she went viral for is like her ADHD fixations of like the meals that she was having, and like she would make it until like it grossed her out, and then she was like, I can't eat it anymore. And so I started laughing, following her because of that, because it's hilarious, because I get very fixated on one thing, and I'm like eggs recently, I've been like they're icky now. She had this reel, which the sound was like, I've had exactly one glass of wine and I think I am capable of doing anything in the world, blah, blah, blah. And she said, I was born with the gene of like, how hard could it be gene? And that's literally how I view things. Why can't I? How hard could it really be? I mean, sure, I have my doubts. Don't get me wrong. It's not like I go into everything with these rose-colored glasses of like, everything's going to fucking work out for me. It hasn't. However, I've taken those setbacks and not failure, those feedback, that feedback, and taken it into heart and then built off of it. Don't get me wrong. I could have absolutely been in the position that you were in the filing 100%. And I think I finally had enough sense to listen to myself and the right support at the right time with the right place, with having the right jobs where I could pull myself out of it, that I didn't have to do that. But I was fucking close, man. I was fucking close. So I understand that reservation of like, oh my God, what about this? What about that? I totally get it. Totally. But in my mind, in my mind, I go back to, I'm not going to continuously be disrespected. I'm not going to settle for less just because somebody is placing me there. I have the power to move myself out of that place. I have the power to say, well, I don't think that the way that this person is treating me is fair. So I'm just not going to fucking hang around anymore or hang out and let them treat me like that anymore. This is the whole reason I bought my fucking house when I did. I was like moving out of my dad's house, trying to get established. And I was looking like, why am I going to pay rent if I could just pay a mortgage? And I was like, let me go see if I'm approved for something. Let's see if it's in. A couple of people were like, I don't know, you're young. It's not a good idea. But well, guess what? 12 years later, still in the fucking house. So again, how hard could it be? It really feels like that moment of like, why not go look and see what I could get for a business loan, see what I could do, right? And if it doesn't feel good, if it feels like off-putting or like when I'm in the thick of it and I'm like, that's the purpose of that. That's the power of over these past 7 years, I've listened to myself. When I have that gut feeling, when I have that knowing, that understanding, I listen to it. I don't fucking play around. I'm actively stopping and listening and being like, okay, let's check in. What's this? Am I reaching for too big of dreams right now? Do I need to, build in a couple more steps? It doesn't feel like that. It feels like do it.
I think I get hung up too on the fact of like, because it is a fact of like, I cannot get a business loan. If something happens to my car, I'm pretty much fucked. I mean, I'm sure somebody could co-sign with me for me to get a car, but like, that's the reality of filing bankruptcy, despite how on top of my bills and payments I have been since I filed almost 3 years ago. That's the reality of bankruptcy. Would I take it back? Absolutely not. That fucking shit changed my life. And I am thankful every day that I filed, despite like what happens, with your credit and stuff afterwards. My credit is fine. It's just a matter of like not being able to get loans and stuff. Like no, my credit is good.
Years. Yeah. That's probably built back. So that's good.
Yeah. My credit is good. But yeah, it's just my anxious brain. And I'm not even using it as an excuse. The reality is it's like the initial reaction of my brain is extreme anxiety right away. And I get overwhelmed and I just need a minute to think about it. It is so fun to dream up ideas and think about things without a doubt, like 150%.
Yes.
I just have to stop myself from going down the spiral of all of the possible bad things that could happen. Because here's the thing, I can't predict the future.
Right.
I can't.
And bad things will happen. Things will happen because that is when you understand that is the ebb and flow of life, that there will be seasons where it is fucking raining. There will be seasons where it is monsooning, and there will be seasons where it is the most gorgeous spring and summer and fall I've ever fucking had. There will be moments. So you just have to understand, like a tide coming in and out. It is just, that's what it is. That these lessons, the growth that we're going through are exactly what they are meant to be, to push us forward, to have us keep going, to push us into that uncomfortability, to be like, do I have to settle here? I've been here for a minute. Do I need to stay here?
I think it's also key and important to reflect on decisions and choices that you've made in the past and like where you're at currently, right? So for example, if you listened to the PS episode, you would know, well, I didn't talk about this on the PS, but I was talking about it with Mari. Like, had I chose a different office in the building, I would have had a very different week last week at work.
Oh my God.
And so it's little decisions like that where I'm like, something about the office that I'm in drew me in. Part of it was having a window so I could have my plants in my office, right? And I just liked the layout of the office a little bit better. But when I think about things like making the decision to not go to one of my best friend's weddings in Mexico because I was like, dude, I don't think I can afford it. And then I ended up getting COVID and I got financially fucked anyways. Do you know what I'm saying? Like those decisions happen for a reason, no matter how much they sucked and how pissed I was about making those decisions in those moments, they happen for a reason. So while I can't predict the future me is like, I'm thankful that you had the wits to be like, as much as I want to go, I just can't because financially it's not going to be the right decision for me.
And I think that's listening to needs versus wants. I think that's where the sacrifice and the hard part comes in. And I know it could seem, I'm not even going to place judgment on it. Finances are a big thing for me. I grew up fucking poor and I grew up watching my two parents fucking struggle, working so many fucking jobs. And that's how the beginning of my life fucking started, working 3 to 4 jobs, fucking through high school, through college, like fucking when I was pregnant. Like, so I don't want to do that for the rest of my life. Correct. I didn't want that. I didn't want to keep doing that and not having time to be with her, to watch her do her things. I wanted to be there. So to be completely honest, like when I'm looking at like these needs versus wants, there's going to be people that I upset with my decisions. Here's the thing. My decision is for me. It's for me. I understand you may want me to come to your wedding. You may want me to go out one night. You may want me to go, on this trip or do these things or whatever. Here's the thing. I have to listen to me. And that's where the reward is of like, sometimes the reward is not always like this giant, blooming flower of like wonderfulness. It's that somber reality of like, whoa, I would have been fucked. I would have been fucked. There's a reason my gut was telling me to do this. There's a reason I was telling me to listen. I am so fucking thankful I did. I'm so glad I did. You have to listen. You have to slow down and create those mindful moments to listen, to be like, okay, because what I don't want this to look is like two people who seemingly have their life together are just talking about all of these things. Like the hard work has been done to get here. When I tell you there wasn't a moment's fucking peace from sophomore year in high school, realistically, probably, sophomore year in high school until 2021, 2022, to be completely honest, of feeling really stable and secure and like, man, I fucking got this. I'm doing okay. Like that's how long. So what, 2003 to 2021. It took that long. So you have to understand the moments, these small habits and these small things you are doing now are building to be that moment. You need every part of this journey. You need every single part. When I have people who are like, I wish I would have done this. I wish I would have done that. You need this part of the journey. You need this lesson. You need this moment. You need this thing working in your favor. You need this thing working against you, whatever that it may be. You need this moment for where you're going to be.
Yep.
You can't discount the importance of it. So
what I tell clients to do too, that are contemplating whether it's leaving a relationship, starting a new career, blah, blah, fill in the blank, whatever, you can write it in your journal, living as if, right? Okay, what would it look like if Mari and I had our own space? How would we decorate it? What would it be like going to work every day? What kind of coffee maker would we have? Like, get as specific as you want. Like, live as if. And it's not a fake it till you make it. It's envision the life that you want to have to get you there. That's what those fucking vision boards and shit are for. Like vision boards, Pinterest boards, all the things, to look at it every single day or read it or watch it or whatever, to then have it manifest into your reality.
100%. You have to you have to write it down as if it's already happening. And then you are reminding your brain daily to act as if you are that person.
Yep.
You're somebody who wants to work out. I'm an athlete. So you're training your brain to view, like, what does an athlete do? How does that person behave? If I am somebody who is a business owner on top of
just gonna say
my
that.
business, how do I behave? What do I do?
I think I even still struggle sometimes with calling myself a business owner, where it just feels not inauthentic, but it feels weird, probably because I rent an office from somebody else. But like, I own a full ass business, like that. There's no question about it. It still just feels weird to me.
Yep. And just because I rent an office space from somebody doesn't negate the fact that I'm a business owner. Like, it's hard out here for fucking properties. So you're telling me this old ass property is worth 500,000? You're
literally
you're out of your mind, because it needs at least 100,000 worth of work. Okay. So pipe down, like, bring it back down to earth. You're kind of crazy. It doesn't make sense. So we didn't even talk about personal goals. Maybe that's to come.
Sure.
Realistically, my personal goals are literally just fulfilling my business goals. Like, that's what they are right now. I'm not even kidding. Like, and just to continue showing up for self. Like, that's it. Like, to be at her games, to be able to be available to her, to have moments or memories with her. It is to take a few more pictures, because I really got into like being so like, I want to be in the moment. I don't want to always have my phone in her face taking. But then I'm like, bitch, you don't have pictures. So like, you need to start finding a healthy balance. So we'll be there. We'll be there.
Yep. I feel that.
Yes. You can find us at Rewriting Her Story Podcast on Instagram. You can find Steph at The Spooky Therapist and me at BEA_XO11 on Instagram. You can find us at Rewriting Her Story on YouTube, at Rewriting Her Story Podcast on YouTube. And then you can email us any questions, concerns, comments, ideas, clarifications, anything that you'd like, at rewritingherstorypodcast@gmail.com.
Yep.
Until next time. Bye.